Like any organization, the U.S. Navy Reserve has a timekeeping system that all of its employees have access to make sure they are aware of when they are scheduled to work and to make sure their time card is being punched out. If this sounds like a big deal, that's because it is. Just like at your full-time job, you need to know when you are scheduled to work for the Navy Reserve, and you need to know how to get your time card punched out when you do that work. Failing to be on top of your timekeeping will have wide-ranging repercussions on your Navy career. This video will provide a very brief but expansive overview of viewing and understanding your drill periods in EDM. When you log in to your EDM dashboard, you'll notice that you have a little box up here that shows your total amount of authorized, scheduled, and completed drills under Reg Pay. Sailors in the U.S. Navy Reserve start every fiscal year with 48 authorized drills. Each of these Reg Pay drills count as 4 hours. So when you do the math of 48 authorized drills, each one counting as 4 hours, it equals to a total of 24 days a fiscal year. Split those 24 days over 12 months, and you now see why the Navy Reserve tells everyone their commitment is 1 weekend each month each year. Under authorized, you will see scheduled. The number next to scheduled is simply the number of days that you currently have in your drill schedule that you have not yet been mustered for as present or absent. And of course, the number next to completed is the total number of drills you have completed thus far this fiscal year. For a satisfactory year, you need to have completed at least 40 of the 48 Reg Pay drills you have been authorized. Anything less, and you will not have a satisfactory year. The number that shows up as completed and scheduled should always at least add up to what is authorized. If for some bizarre but not uncommon reason they do not at least add up to what is authorized, you need to contact your NOSC ASAP and get them to make sure it adds up, as you could be getting shortchanged on drills. So if you find yourself near the end of September with a number less than 40 showing up next to completed, get busy on some Navy work. Below that, you will see My IDT request pending. When you submit a reschedule for a drill and submit it for approval, it will show up under this tab. It will stay under this tab until it has been approved by both your unit CO or designate or your NOSC CO or designate. Below that, you see My Muster Reports Pending. Every drill that you see here is a drill that you have rescheduled and which has been approved for you to execute. You will not see all of your drills here. You will only see drills you have rescheduled. Now, at the beginning of the fiscal year, the very first thing you want to do is log into EDM and click View FY Drill Schedule. As you can see, the FY has already started several months ago. When you log in, you need to make sure the number of drills you are authorized matches up to the number of drills you see here. As I said earlier, the number you're looking for here is 48. So you want to scroll up and scroll down and make sure you see 48 IDT periods, and you can count them all here on the left-hand side. In my case, you will see 50 because I recently created 2 non-pay IDTs because it's been a pretty chaotic year for me thus far in the Navy Reserve. Now, when you look at your drill schedule at the beginning of the FY, your IDT date and your original date will all match. Once you start rescheduling your IDT periods, your IDT date and your original date will no longer, will stop matching. Essentially, your IDT date is the date you actually have an IDT scheduled. Your original date is kind of there just for reference as the date you originally had scheduled before you went and rescheduled that drill to the new date. So always sort your drills by IDT date in order to get the latest version of your drill schedule. If your unit has a set drill schedule, you want to make sure the drill schedule you have in your EDM matches up with the drill schedule of your unit. If it does not, you need to immediately reschedule drills to match up with your unit's drill schedule. This happens regularly. Additionally, at the beginning of the fiscal year, all of your drills will show up as scheduled under the drill status, and nothing will show up under muster status. So under drill status, you'll see scheduled for all of the drills at the beginning of the fiscal year, and under muster status, everything will show up as empty. As the year progresses, under drill status, you will notice it will say history. And under muster status, you will notice it will say certified by NRA. All this means is that these drills were adjudicated one way or another, favorably or unfavorably, and that the NOSC has certified it in the system. Now, this is incredibly important. You need to be aware of every date you have a drill scheduled and make sure you are being mustered appropriately for those dates. If one of the drills scheduled in your EDM has passed, you need to make sure some type of action is being or has been taken on your IDT period. If you do not, and your drill just ends up sitting in EDM, your NOSC will, after a few days, go in and mark you with an unauthorized absence, which means you lose out on money and get a ding on your record. And you don't want to lose out on money, and you don't want any dings on your record. And while fixable, it is usually not a pleasant experience, so it's best to not even run into that situation. Now, this differs for every unit, but for our unit, if a sailor has a drill in the system, and it's on one of our unit drill weekends where a unit res pay officer is there, and he can visibly see us, we can feel pretty comfortable with the fact that he will muster us since he can visually see us for that day. For any other IDT period, we send him an email after execution to muster us, and he confirms. To check on your end to make sure that your unit mustering official took action on your drill, ensure that the email address you have on file here is an email address you check regularly. The email address would show up here on the main EDM dashboard page, and below email type, you can select the type and your email address will populate. If this is not an accurate email address for you, you can click here to edit and edit it to an email address that works for you. If you have a drill in the system and you ask your unit mustering official to muster you, and he or she tells you he mustered you, but you still have not received an automated email notifying you that a muster has been initiated for you, you need to follow up ASAP to make sure there isn't some type of system issue. Making sure you have an accurate email address on file in EDM is a crucial component to making sure you are aware of any activities related to your drills in EDM. If you ever find yourself looking at your drill schedule and see a drill status showing up as canceled, so under drill status, any of these show up as canceled, that is a big red flag. You should not have any of your authorized amount of drills showing up as canceled because it effectively becomes a dead drill. If you see any of your authorized amount of drills showing up as canceled, contact your NOSC immediately. This happens more often than it should. It is unclear why this happens, and the only way to get it fixed is to contact your NOSC and get them to upload brand new drills to replace the canceled ones. Sometimes this involves them creating a ticket with the NCIP's help desk, and sometimes they can fix it themselves. Now, if you ever want to see what you are marked as for your drills, you can go here to where it says View Completed Canceled Drill Periods. So let's close out of that. Bottom here, View Completed Canceled Drill Periods. It will show all the drills that were canceled and all the drills that have been certified by the NOSC after having been mustered by the unit mustering official. As you can see, it's been marked present satisfactory. I've been marked present satisfactory for all of my drills. And that's ideally how yours should look as well. As you can also see, I've also fallen victim to having my drills canceled, hence why I was able to provide such a detailed explanation for how to get them fixed. This concludes how to view and understand your IDT periods in EDM. If you found this video to be effective in helping you understand your EDM, please view my other video on how to reschedule a drill and how to reschedule an already rescheduled drill in EDM.